I used to think running fast was pretty much the answer to everything. Push harder, push faster, get better, improve. That worked when I was younger. But after 40, it started to break me. My body was always tight. Little injuries kind of wouldn't go away. And no matter how hard I trained, I wasn't getting faster. I was getting worse. I was going backwards. That's not a good thing when you're a runner. I thought I needed more intensity, but what I actually needed was something way different. I needed a better engine, a better aerobic base. So I did the one thing runners hate the most, and I slowed down. And what happened next completely changed how my body responded to running. If you're over 40 and feel stuck, tired, constantly beat up and put down, this might be exactly what you need. Today I'm going to break down what running slow actually does to your body, your mind, your soul, and how it can improve your life, and why running fast might actually be holding you back. So here's the big mistake that I was making. One of the biggest mistakes that I made, I thought slow meant a pace, like 9-minute pace, 10-minute pace. But look, that's not it. Slow is a state your body is in. And here's how you know if you're in that state. If you can't talk in full sentences, you're going too fast. Now, if you're going a little bit faster, you could be talking in small sentences like this. This is something you kind of want to avoid because you're probably not going to be able to maintain these long term. So if you slow down, you'll be able to have full conversations instead of like little sound bites like this. This is when you get into zone 3. Short conversation. You can't really sustain it for long periods of time. So you want to slow down. If your heart rate is creeping up, you're going too fast. And honestly, if your ego feels uncomfortable, you're probably right where you need to be. If it feels too easy, you're finally training properly. That's the way I feel about it. Running slow should sound like this. We should be able to have this conversation without really feeling strained. Like having full sentences is fantastic. Like if you're going too fast, you're not going to be able to have a conversation like this. Sometimes you got to like talk to yourself. Sometimes maybe you sing the national anthem. When you run slow, you're not doing less. You're actually doing something completely different. You're building a huge aerobic engine. And this is the stuff I was completely skipping when I was always running hard. I never gave it a second thought. Every time you run, your body creates stress. That is literally a normal thing. But if you're always pushing too hard, you're always redlining, you build up more damage than you can recover from. However, your body has a system to deal with that. Think of it like the cleanup crew, right? But here's the problem. If you keep going too hard, too often, too long, you're overwhelming that system. And that's when you start feeling constantly tired, tight and beat up and burnt out. And this part surprised me the most. When you slow down and stay there long enough, your brain starts to change. You think very differently, you think clearer, better, you stay more consistent. But you only get this if you stay in that easy zone long enough to get the benefits. And it's usually around 30 to 40, maybe even 60 minutes. But going too hard, you shut the whole system down. Look, about 6 to 8 weeks into doing this, something kind of crazy happened. My heart rate stayed the same, and I was very grateful for that. But my pace started to get faster, And I was more grateful for that. So without trying, that's when I knew that I was onto something. Not that, I created this. I mean, Phil Maffetone created this. Other Lydiard created this. And this was working. But here's a simple part that I think a lot of runners and people kind of forget. If you want to support this system and keep it really simple, greens, garlic, and a couple of Brazil nuts, that's it, right? You're giving your body what it needs to recover and adapt. Look, don't overthink it. Really, it's really simple. And if you're dealing with injuries, like bad knees, tight hips, quad issue, look, doesn't matter what it is. Listen to your body, because your body doesn't care about how you got there. Running, walking, cycling, your system responds to effort, not necessarily the activity. If your heart rate is in that zone, you're still building your aerobic engine, so you're not falling behind. You're doing exactly what it is that you need to do. Now, this is where everything changed for me. I stopped chasing pace and I started training properly. My body stopped breaking down. The slower I ran, the more I improved. And the adaptation had started. Right? Same heart rate, faster pace over time. Right? There was no forcing. It just started to happen. Right? I wasn't going through burnout. I was in a state of flow, man. Like, it really felt awesome. And I was so grateful for it. Now, the hardest part of this isn't the running. It's the ego. It's that voice that's telling you too slow, that doesn't count. You should be doing more. It's just a matter of ignoring it, because you're not running slow. You got to tell yourself you're building something most runners never will. The slower I ran, the faster I became. It takes time, it takes effort, it takes discipline, it takes consistency, it takes willpower, it takes everything you can muster. Look, I want to hear from you. What's your slow pace? And how old are you? Where are you from? Let's normalize slow running, stop the injuries and the burnouts, because everyone's number is different. I want you to drop it in the comments below, because it really means a lot. If you like these videos, think about liking, subscribing, and follow along on my crazy journey to eventually one day running a 100 miler. But first, we got some weight to lose. We got some stuff to do. Look, it's not lost on me on how training is so different from one person to another. And we all have setbacks, right? We all have different things that happen in our life, but sometimes you just got to pull it up by the bootstraps and say, hey, how long do I want to continue to go down this road? Because to be quite honest, I don't know how much longer I can kind of be eating the way I'm eating, living the lifestyle that I'm living, whether I'm drinking tons of alcohol or whether I'm smoking all this, whatever I'm smoking. I think the message that I've been receiving in a lot of ways based in the comments is like, Dave, it's easy to say this, but how do you do it? How do you be consistent? How do you do all the things that I talk about in my videos? And my simple answer is, I'm going through this myself. My days have changed a lot over the last number of years, and the amount of times that I can get out and run is different, but that's an excuse. We all have 168 hours in a week. It's how you choose to spend them, where you allocate that time, right? Working is a big chunk of that. Sleeping is a big chunk of that. Commuting is a big chunk of that. And, family time is a big chunk of that. So it's what you have left. But if you reversed it and said, hey, you know what? I want to change the script a little bit. Why don't I start with me first? Why don't I plan all my runs first before I start thinking about everything else? Some can say, hey, Dave, I have to work. Like, that's priority one. Because if I don't work, there's no food on the table. There's no gas in the gas tank. There's no, I got medical bills I got to pay and everything else. And look, I get it. But if you don't look after you, none of the other things matter. It's hard, right? It really is. And specifically as we get older, specifically when you're in your 50s, right? Because things can really start going south in your 50s. And if you've been abusing your body for all these years, it's even harder to kind of look and go, I got to make some changes, or how long do I have left? And then people just, I mean, I know some people and they've just kind of thrown in the cards and said, yeah, I'm done. I'm going to wave the white flag and I'm just going to go out in my blaze of glory. I'm going to do all the things I want to do and I don't really care anymore. What do I have left in life? Maybe you're single, you're like, I don't have any kids, I don't have a spouse, I don't have any family left. It's just me. No one depends on me. And that's sad when you're in that state, right? I don't know what that's like. And I can't even begin to think like that. I got a wife, I got a daughter, I got brothers, I got sisters, I got in-laws, I got family members and cousins and stuff like that. We're all living our life. Like, do we all get together all the time? Not all the time, right? A lot of time we're all just kind of doing our own thing. And so you have to ask yourself, why are you living the life that you're living? Like, why are you even here, right? And some people, they can get very religious and go down that road, and that's their core belief. That's what they, strive towards, right? And then there's some people who are very spiritual, and that's something that's important to them in their life. Some people are atheists, and they're just living their life, enjoying and passing on, what they've learned to their kids or whatever, right? I mean, some of us, the aliens above, right? Are they going to take us? Are we interstellar travelers? Or look, you know what? There's so many different people in this world. There's so many beliefs. There's so many religions. There's so many things. I mean, it can get really exhausting just thinking about all of that. And I'm just going to have this dog that maybe just barked here. You know what? I'll continue this in a second. One of the happiest moments that I have experienced is after a run. I know it sounds weird, but it's very true. The endorphins that just kick in and release all the happiness are just, I don't know, man, it's like next level. And I found that after I ran my 100-miler, I had a lot of them. I may have been tired, but my gosh, I was lit up like a Christmas tree for a time. But then as the following days arrived, I really went into a deep kind of depression. And anyone that's run a marathon or a half marathon or an ultra marathon or whatever race that you've been training for a while and you don't have anything else on the calendar, man, it can be a real letdown and you can spiral. And I tell you, I've never experienced that either. It was like the high of the high and the low of the low. And no one ever told me that. Like, no one told me that I was going to be absolutely miserable for a period of time. I wasn't prepared for it, and it hit hard, baby. It hit hard. One of the most amazing things that I found with running slow was the amount that I could run. I wasn't limited to, how many days I could run because I was feeling really good the majority of them because my recovery time from my runs was next to nothing. And it wasn't like that at first, but as I built up, the recovery time was so small. It was so easy to navigate. It was crazy. And so the more I ran, the better I felt. And I just felt so joyful. Like, seriously, I was so flippin' happy. And the happier I got, the more I wanted. It actually became addictive. And I had a couple of friends of mine who were trying to quit smoking, who were trying to change their lives, and they started to run. And so they found, as the more they ran, the more they wanted it, and it replaced their smoking habit. Like, that's crazy, right? Breaking a habit with another one. Now, some people are going to go, well, that's not good, right? Like, you need to get rid of the addictions. Okay, I get it. But if that one addiction, that one bad addiction can be replaced with a better addiction, okay, that's a start. It start to go somewhere. I don't know what it is, but it is a great place to be psychologically. It's a great place to be fundamentally. It's a great place to be, I don't know, man, out in nature. There's something about it. Like, I opened up the door this morning and I thought, it smells like spring. It has that spring smell. Yeah, there may be some snow and ice still around, but that is what it is. We're in the tail end of March, and I'll tell you, in Ontario, Canada, this is one of those months where you don't know what you're going to get. And if the snow stays away and the sun comes out, everything warms up, it's going to get muddy for a while. But there's something about that smell, the earth, the nature. It does something to the brain. And I've been itching to get on the trail because it's time to start doing some trail running. It's time to start getting back into the season of feeling good, you know, training the way I want to train, as opposed to just kind of putting it off because I haven't been really good psychologically, because we all know what lack of vitamin D does to the system. It's a pretty miserable experience when you don't have the sun around. And it doesn't matter how much supplements that you take, it's just not the same. It's just not the same as opposed to like just getting that full sun on your body and letting your body make the vitamin D. I think that's been my biggest challenge. Running can kind of offset it, but you have to get out and do the run so that way you can feel good. Like I was just talking to a buddy of mine the other day, and you know, he's like, I'm probably going to cancel my gym membership. You know, I haven't used it in a while. And I said, why? And he's like, I just can't get motivated to even go to the gym. Like, it's been so hard since like November when, you know, everything, like the sun started going down and we've been in this time period of like literally no sun. It's been hard for a lot of people. But with sunshine coming, I know the sun up there somewhere, life will be good again. But the whole running slow thing has fundamentally changed my outlook on training. It's changed how I feel about training. It's changed my body in ways that I didn't think about it before. I don't know, man, like in my head, everything, yeah, my gloves are falling apart, but they have been for a while. It's tail end of the season, so maybe I can pick up some gloves on sale, but these have been so good to me over the years. Life is good, man. I think it's time. I'm gonna get out. I've done my warm-up of filming this video. I think it's time to get out and do some running, because I think that'll do me some good. Specifically when the sky looks like that. It's not the greatest, I'll tell you. And then there's times where you just have to walk. And that's okay, because you're running slow. You're walking fast, but it's going uphill. So you can have conversations. This is an easy, normal thing to do. Don't think I really need to talk much more about just kind of walking up a hill. Like I always say, get out and run. See you on the next one.